you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank the Academy for this kind invitation. I'm a chemist by training, and in my former life as a researcher, I've been working in stem cells and cell biology, so there was a lot of chemistry and cell biology, so I did enjoy these sessions. But during the last 15 years, I've been a public officer, so I will want to shift into another field, the field of social sciences. And the subject I would like to address has been raised by the Pope yesterday when he mentioned the peoples that receive only rarely and from afar the benefits of vast human knowledge and its achievement. So it's something that has to do with the ethical responsibility of science. And I'm going to talk about how to promote inclusive innovation in Latin America. Latin America shows high levels of inequality, mainly due to its productive matrix that still relies strongly on natural resources. This is in contrast with countries exporting knowledge-intensive products that show considerable lower levels of income inequality. On the other hand, employment associated with routine activities is likely to decrease in the near future due to the increase in robotization. And this is already happening in industrial agriculture in the region, with the consequent displacement of rural population to the big cities. It's clear then that unless deliberate actions are implemented in the government level, political tension will arise. Therefore, promoting inclusive innovation understood as the development of value chains based on new technologies that create job opportunities even for those that cannot access to a better education should be a priority for Latin America. I will briefly summarize some of the actions that are being implemented in Argentina that could be extrapolated to other countries of the region. One of the main changes that we are witnessing is the digital revolution. And in contrast with the industrial revolution that produces deep asymmetries in the distribution of wealth between countries, the digital revolution is horizontal and can reach populations that were previously not benefited by previous technologies. However, this benefit can only take place when proper training is provided and new value chains are developed that lead to the creation of new job posts. As an example of the magnitude of the digital divide that we observe in Argentina, I will tell you one story. If you go to Mendoza, Mendoza is famous for the Malbec wines. We have this huge antenna from the European Space Agency. There are 5 Argentinians that were trained in Germany, in the US, that can communicate with a rover Curiosity in Mars and can control the position with a precision of 1 inch. They receive the information and send that to Germany, to the US. Then you travel 10 kilometers and you find a local community that have no electricity, no telephone, and could communicate only with people within sight. So that's the magnitude in millions of kilometers that we have in Argentina. Argentina can communicate with Mars, and Argentina cannot communicate with the closest town. The only thing that these people could do is to wrangle guanacos. That's what we learned from the Incas. So we taught them how to manage the guanacos, how to obtain fiber. Guanacos are South American camelids, which are relatives to the vicuñas, not to Rafael, not to Rafael, the animals. And have a high value fiber that can be worth $600 per kilogram. In order to have the machine, they had to have electricity, and now they have internet. And they have access to an e-commerce platform, and they can commercialize that fiber. So they jump 5 centuries in 1 year. So the magnitude of the change that you can induce if you can find the proper technology. On the other hand, Argentinian companies are able to export nuclear reactors. We launched a state-of-the-art satellite. We have a company that is producing a constellation of nano satellites. But we have a shortage of 5,000 computer scientists and engineers. By the way, we produce 25,000 psychologists in Argentina. That means that probably we need 25,000 psychologists. So to provide training and attracting youngsters to STEM careers, we're teaching code and introduction to robotics at elementary schools. We also run a 50-hectare science fair every year that is attended by 4.5 million visitors in each season. We have a mobile version that we take to every remote place in the country. We run a TV channel in which we broadcast documentaries and fictions locally produced, showing the opportunities in computer science, in video games. We show women doing research, which is important in order to change the role models. We are also developing value chains for organic and premium food products that incorporate technologies such as lyophilization for conservation and blockchain technology for traceability and certification in terms of environment and fair trade. And the idea is to associate these products with ancestral culture, thus providing a differential value for the so-called responsible consumer market. In order to improve the coupling between science and society and social needs, I think it's necessary to start forming scientists in the region under a new paradigm. Until now, the norm has been in Latin American countries has been to send graduate students to or postdoc to centers of excellence, usually in Europe, or in the US, and this is satisfactory in terms of acquiring the state-of-the-art knowledge. But what happens is that they end up having a Norwegian or Korean friend, and they keep collaborating with those friends in subjects that have probably nothing to do with the strict requirements or the local requirements of their country of origins. And that usually leads to brain drain. In Argentina, thanks to a special program called Raíces, which stands for Roots, that provides special contracts and grants to those professionals willing to return, we have succeeded in repatriating more than 1,300 Argentinian scientists. We also maintain a network of Argentinian scientists working abroad. We have 3 of them in this room. And this favors collaborations and access to fellowships and equipment abroad. But the other thing we have done is to create a center that provides interdisciplinary formation for students for all Latin America. We think that we have to form local scientists on the new paradigm. We have to have 2 phases, like the Roman god Janus, one that looking outward to see what the state of the art is, to do science of excellence, and the other one, the other phase looking inward, trying to improve their fellow citizens' quality of life. And this later insight is not usually learned in the Center of Excellence in the Northern Hemisphere, and is related to the scientist's social responsibility. In Argentina, the vast majority of the scientific graduates from public universities, which are state-funded and free, and therefore, although they do not have financial depth, they should have an ethical depth with the community. What we decided to do is to create what we call Latin American Centers for Interdisciplinary Formation. This is the idea behind the creation of these centers was to provide an environment in which young scientists from Latin America could bring problems with such complexity that cannot be tackled by a single discipline. This common space should also provide opportunities for students and scientists to share experiences and to develop personal bonds that could be the basis of future collaborations. Thanks to the support from the Latin American Development Bank, we have provided fellowship for more than 1,500 students and professors from 19 Latin American countries to participate in 270 different courses and research programs. So, and what's already going on is that we start to see local networks, and they are establishing collaborations at the Latin American level that were not existing before. They were, if you look at the collaborations, were mainly centered in Europe or the US. To conclude, it is clear that scientific and technological development is a necessary but not sufficient condition to promote economic growth. Specific actions are required in developing countries to produce wealth out of knowledge and promote inclusive innovation. Thank you.